It's the Score North Twin Show.
Score North Twin Show Extra Innings. Hello, Declan Goff here, giving you a little breakdown of the Twins taking Game 1 over the Tampa Bay Rays by a score of 5-4. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for Minnesota Twins content right here on this Score North Twin Show YouTube channel. We have a month to go in the regular season. Twins are clinging to a playoff spot. They would like to be in the playoff fold. If you want to be informed on this stretch run and then knocking on wood, when the Twins make the playoffs, we'll have coverage of that as well. So hit the like button, subscribe button on the Score North Twin Show YouTube channel. Twins had a solid little home series win against Toronto to salvage a mostly sour homestand. They carried some of that momentum into Tampa Bay today, and they get a 5-4 win. Kind of an interesting stuff to break down. That's why I wanted to jump on with Extra Innings, just to kind of talk about the makeup and the way they went about getting this win. We'll have an episode with Trevor Plouffe tomorrow right here on this podcast feed and YouTube channel with Mackie, Judd, and myself, so that'll be a blast. But I wanted to jump in and talk about this one as well. So Twins win 5-4. As we talked about, they carried over the momentum from the series win over Toronto. Royce Lewis comes up, gives the Twins the lead right away. For a guy that says he doesn't do slumps, hopefully he's now out of that slump. And the Twins kind of go back and forth a little bit. Simeon Woods-Richardson, which is kind of the main thing I really want to talk about today on this episode, only is able to go 3 2/3 innings before having to go to the bullpen. And Rocco was not afraid to just tax that pen, because obviously they had to, given the fact they had to go to their bullpen that early in the game. And then also using some of their best relievers, guys that pitched yesterday even, which I found to be very, very interesting. They really haven't done that a whole lot. Now they're in a position now, it's September 2nd. They're trying to hold off the Royals, who have been scuffling now. They're trying to catch Cleveland, who they have been chasing all season. I respected and like the moves. In fact, I'm a big proponent of win the games now, worry about tomorrow later. And now the Twins are probably going to find themselves in a position where Griffin Jackson and Yohan Duran are likely unavailable for sure tomorrow and Wednesday. Maybe even potentially they're back on Thursday. That would give them 3 days rest. But over the next 2 games, you are probably going to be without 2 of your best relievers. That's what they had to do to get this win, and I don't fault that at all. But with Simeon, he lasted just 3.2 innings before having to go to the bullpen. And then the Twins throw out Jorge Alcala, who had a very nice bounce-back game. I know he gave up a couple of hits, but he got that big strikeout at the end, 32 pitches over an inning and a third. I thought that was great. Ronnie Enriquez came out of the pen, did his job. Griffin Jax came in the 7th, actually, because that was the meat of their order up, which is something the Score North Twin Show has talked a lot about. Put your best relievers against their best hitters. That's exactly what Rocco did. I liked that makeup. Griffin Jax also gets a couple strikeouts after giving up a run last night, or yesterday, I should say. He's been mostly pretty solid, obviously, and above average all season, so he looked human on Sunday. He comes back on Monday, gives them a good appearance. And then it's Cole Sands, who does give up a home run, makes you sweat, I guess, a little bit by doing that before Duran gets the save. So, like I said, Twins had no issue. They went to Alcala, Enriquez, Jax, Sands, Duran. I mean, Alcala, Jax, Sands, Duran, in no particular order. We can obviously rank them if we want. We've done that before. Those are your 4 best relievers, and you had to bridge them. You had to use them today, obviously starting right away at the end of the 4th inning just to get a win here, and the Twins were able to do that. Bravo to that bullpen. They only gave up 1 earned run over that stretch, which is damn impressive, and those are also how playoff games are mostly played in today's baseball, where yes, it'd be nice if your ace or your one of your starters can get you into the 6th or 7th inning in a postseason game if they're cruising. But more than likely than not, when the third time through the order comes up, most managers are going to be turning to their bullpen. The Twins did that today, having to do that early with Simeon, who I asked Rocco about this before Simeon's last start on the homestand against Atlanta last week. I asked, are you concerned, or is there any innings limits with all these young arms now reaching career high in threshold. Simeon's about, I believe, 15 to 20 innings past his career threshold. This is the most innings Jorge Alcala has pitched in 3 years. I believe Bailey Ober just crossed his career high. And I wanted to know, and I figured I'd get this answer, but he said, no, there is no innings limit. We're in September. We're obviously in a pennant race. We have no plans to limit the starting pitching innings that we have to rely on from the Simeons, the David Festas, who I obviously did not mention. They have to rely on these young arms. And if they didn't want to be buyers at the bullpen, they want to rely on what they had in their own minor league system. Zebby Matthews got absolutely tattooed this weekend, but he'll just wear it and move on and hopefully be solid in the next start. But, I mean, this is where we're at. Simeon's velocity has been down significantly over his last 2 starts, where now you're entering a territory here. And look, Sim gave up 3 earned runs today. He certainly wasn't sharp. Just 47 strikes on 71 pitches before getting the hook. But they are going to need some big innings here from arms that are most likely very deprived and tired and throwing amount of innings that they haven't thrown before. Maybe that's just another chapter in this book of why the hell didn't you go out and do anything at the trade deadline? Because if you knew this was going to happen, what were you going to do? But Simeon has to get pulled. They go to the bullpen. They're able to do that. Twins get a win. I'm certainly, obviously, I'll take it every single time. The Twins will have 3 more against Tampa Bay in this series alone. Twins won't be home again until next week. So they're on a big of a road trip here with no off day coming up for another 9 days, I believe. So they're going to have to get through this bullpen without a lot of off days. And again, Duran threw 14 pitches and he pitched yesterday. Griffin Jacks threw 18 pitches. He pitched yesterday. Cole Sand threw 17 today. Jorge Alcala, who has barely pitched since the kind of epic snowball meltdown that caused these problems for the Twins against Texas, he hasn't pitched much, but he threw 32 pitches today. So they're going to have to figure out ways to get to wins, and it might get a little dicey here in the later innings if the Twins are in a high leverage situation. That is a situation where they'll likely have to rely on the lower leverage dudes that we saw a few weeks ago pitching in spots where they shouldn't have been. But maybe Rocco just finally goes full Stephen Vogt and says, bleep it, I'm going to start throwing these guys all the dang time. I don't think that's the best recipe for success long-term by the time October rolls around. But you need to get to October. And right now the Twins are a full game up on Kansas City in the AL Central. They are 3.5 games back of the Guardians. They occupy the second wild card spot. Currently, if the playoffs ended today, they're 4 games back of Baltimore, so they're actually closer to catching the AL Central lead, and if they want to do that, that'll be their best bet. But Kansas City, who, looked invincible as of a week ago, has now lost 6 straight games. They're playing the Guardians for the second time in a week, and their playoff odds, I believe, have fallen by 20% in the last week alone. Now, that's still over 70, they're most likely still going to be a playoff team. I envision all 3 of these teams, the Guardians, the Twins, the Royals, being 3 teams that go into the playoffs. So both wild cards, or 2 of the wild card spots, will come out of the AL Central. But it goes to show how crazy and how much you can't really just count on one of these teams to run away with it. Yes, Cleveland's been in first place for basically 95% of the regular season. But now the Royals are scuffling. Now the Twins have won 2 in a row and 4 of their last 5. So that's a solid sign. But it's been a weird stretch of baseball, man. This is it. This is what September ball is all about. Twins only have 2 more homestands left. And the Royals are playing their toughest stretch, which we outlined a few weeks ago. And one of my Dex plans, which did not come close to hitting because of that atrocious homestand that the Twins had. But regardless, they're 3.5 games back. They get a big win. Brooks Lee comes up, has been back here now for 2 days. He had another big home run, his first big league home run from the right side of the plate. They clearly missed that bat. They missed his presence too at third base. Our sports dad, Judd Zolgad, detailed the Royce Lewis experiment at second base. Go check out Judd's Substack if you want more information on that. I have also heard similar information about the whole second base thing. I'm going to put a pin in it because I actually want to bring it up with Trevor Plouffe tomorrow, a former big leaguer who also moved around the diamond a lot, experienced new positions, and I would love to hear from a former big leaguer and Trevor Plouffe how difficult that decision can be. If you can hear my dog snorting in the background here, he's just trying to get comfortable. So that's what that sound is if you hear a little snarly mini golden doodle. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Vincent. But we'll have that conversation with Trevor Plouffe. And then Byron Buxton, one last note here. Buxton had his first rehab game with the St. Paul Saints today. 1 for 3, had an RBI, had a single, had a run scored, played 7 innings in center field for the Twins. There he goes. Saints are off on Tuesday, and I believe the plan is to still play Byron with the Saints on Wednesday. So I don't expect Byron to be on the plane coming down to Tampa Bay for tomorrow or Wednesday's game. He'll get at least another AB. We'll see how he feels, how the Twins assess that situation and go from there. But obviously the Twins need Byron Buxton back ASAP. And a big giant shoulder shrug with Carlos Correa. I don't know. Don't know what's up with that. But Byron Buxton at least coming back here. The Twins have had to rely on Austin Martins, Willie Castro. It's great having Denard Span, former great Twins center fielder, in the booth for this series against Tampa Bay. Kind of outlined some of the things that might even look a little uncharacteristic from someone like Willie Castro playing center field, but he applauded his effort. But the Twins have obviously lost some defensive value in center field, with all due respect to the Austin Martins and Willie Castros of the world, and Manny Margot before he went on the injured list, who now has a, I believe, pull in his groin area in the abductor, the same injury that Royce Lewis went on the injured list earlier this season. So they need Byron Buxton back in center field as well. And maybe Carlos Correa is back for the playoffs. I think that's kind of your best bet. Maybe you can ramp him up shortly before that. And yes, let's see, what did Nicholas say here? Did you hear about Judd's place where he goes and watch games at? Yeah, Judd as a Substack, so go to Judd's Substack too, which is a great area to get Judd's musings on those games. It's a big week here coming up at Score North and on Purple Daily. We got Daily Vikings Entertainment. The regular season's on Sunday. The Twins are in a stretch run. Before we know it, the Wild and the Wolves season are going to start. So this is our favorite time of the year at Score. It really is. Once September 1st starts, we get full into football season. You got meaningful baseball games being played. So the next 6 weeks are going to be a busy time here at Score, so don't miss anything. Subscribe to our YouTube channels. Give us ratings on Apple, on Spotify, on Score North app, however you listen. We appreciate that. Support our sponsors when you can. We appreciate you guys for listening and supporting Score North Twin Show. This has been Extra Innings. Trevor Plouffe Tuesday, tomorrow. Talk to you guys then.